Welcome back. Today we will be looking at the new Storm Trend 2. If you like what we do, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and check us out on Patreon. First impressions, the Trend 2 looks to be a strong offering, reminding me of a couple balls, and I'll discuss that shortly. Alright, let's get right into it. I mentioned in my making video that the new Storm Trend 2 from Belmo now has the NRG hybrid cover stock with a modified piston LD core. That brings down the diff to 041, and that's something I really like. I feel like low 40s for diff is the sweet spot for the most versatile balls in general. So what did we see? I'll firstly say I struck a lot. This is a house shot, and as most, they are set up cliffed. Lots of friction outside, lots of scoot inside, meant to create, a bunch of room for error. I'm not going to go into why I hate these patterns, so back to the ball. I was able to start left, cut my axis rotation down a bit, and just get monster hit. The ball was pretty easy to get down lane with its shiny finish, seemed to read the later part of the pattern, and have a bold move, I would say, slicing through the pin. So if I was bowling for score, I'd stay there for as long as it held up. But anyway, as I started moving in to see what the ball does, you can see that it's still very playable. I could chase it all the way to the fourth arrow if I wanted to. It still would work. But let's talk about the nuances a bit. I mentioned versatility, and in that regard, I think this ball could be in the middle slot, that mid-control. Shiny ball, yeah, it wouldn't be the first time I've done that. And it's not the skid flip ball meant for lighter conditions like the original Trend was, so it's a step up from that. Honestly, I will say my first thoughts were this ball reminds me of an oldie, the Virtual Gravity Nano Pearl, but I would say much more so the recent Axiom Pearl. It's not quite as strong, but not a baby Axiom either. Why? Because there's good mid lane read, and having it has a bit of forward smoother characteristic. The trick here is the underlying strength of the cover gives it some mid lane roll while still getting some energy storage. Add the benchmark like core and it makes it not too long, not too flippy, not too strong, not too weak. I mean, ultimately you get some control out of the typically strong Storm shiny motion, which could slot it early on with the night, say if you're in a medium volume pattern. And I like when shiny balls are medium because sometimes you need length but not necessarily snap. And this is probably still a little strong down lane, but not crazy snap. Overall, it was still very effective for me. Would I have the Axiom Pearl and Trend 2 in the same bag? My first instinct was, but actually I would say, yeah, you could. And if I think back, the Axiom Pearl for me fit in the mid-defined category. And while I think they are pretty close, I really feel like the Trend is a bit more that mid-control slot, reading a little earlier, being a little smoother.